Couldn't agree more. As we find out the maps for game number 1, we're going to be on Sky Temple with Infernal and Battlefield of Eternity banned out. Both the Diablo maps annihilated.
That's pretty cool because I think today we've already seen a lot of Infernal Shrines, so I'm really happy that teams are now transitioning over to some of the other battlegrounds. Yesterday, Sky Temple. I'm not sure if SOA... No, it wasn't. It was too much bragging where they lost to Usleys. So, still, you know, it's not the best map for SOA. Obviously, a 1-3 record is not really that impressive. But, Premier. Yeah. First time ever for Wukong Gaming on Sky Temple. What are they going to bring to the table?
Let's find out as we head into our first pick and ban phase. Also, fun game that the chat seems to play, which I would like to see more of, so I'm going to give it my official seal of approval. Taking the acronym names, the letters that teams seem to go with, and coming up with their own names. So let's see your most creative names for WKG and SOA. And I will keep an eye on the chat for that. As we start off with the first ban out of an Ariel from Wukong Gaming, as the stream stutters a little bit for me.
Oh yeah, the freeze are getting a little bit out of control, but rest assured, guys, Chinese production knows about it, and hopefully they're gonna find a way to reduce the number of freezes, because that would be very detrimental to our own cast, obviously. So, Genji's out, the Oriole's out. Those are actually starting to become the most popular bans here. Dahaka immediately secured by Wukong Gaming. So far, looking good. We know that Wukong Gaming in the past liked to go for crazy drafts. That didn't make a lot of sense, but for now, everything's good.
Yep, their drafting has improved significantly since they brought on their newest player slash substitute slash something. So we'll see if that theme continues. So we're starting off with an Arthas and a Greymane. So the Arthas, which would be a solid counter to the Greymane, and then taking the Greymane themselves. Very nice here.
Yeah, looking pretty solid. They once again go for the Lunara. She was okay. She was doing okay in the last game. I don't want to go as far and say that, you know, she was underperforming or super outstandingly well played, but Lunara is certainly a hero that can wreak a lot of havoc, and they pick the Uther. Okay, very interesting. I don't think Uther would have been picked by SOA necessarily, because you normally don't want to pick an Uther into the Lunara, so...
True. Indeedy. So, with the Uther being picked up here, like you said, the AoE damage is a little bit too scary for Uther, but now
maybe they could have banned it, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. If they go double support, I won't feel so bad about it, but that would probably lead to Lunara potentially being the solo damage dealer.
Yeah.
Due to them already having a Dahaka, but we've seen teams go with the solo tank Dahaka before, as much as Grubby especially disagrees with it.
Yeah, I absolutely hate it. I definitely have to agree, because Dahaka is not built to be played like a main tank. You don't want to be the traditional frontliner. It's all about flanking. It's all about popping out of nowhere, getting a value elsewhere, only to arrive in the nick of time. And as such, I think his core playstyle doesn't fit the main tank role. For now, though, yeah. Tassadar out of the equation, so no potential double support with Tassadar at least. And truth be told, I don't think it's going to happen anyway, because of the reasons we said earlier.
Yep. And we do see an Illidan banned out quite quickly here, preventing that from being picked with the Arthas here. True. Also, we killed Grubby, currently my favourite WKG one there. At least the one that makes the most sense. We also have World Keno Guild. I don't know what a Keno is. And we know Grain. That one is quite good.
Yeah. Speaking of Grubby, by the way, Tetra, I was able to catch a little bit of the HGC Open Division yesterday, and there was a team dedicated to Grub subs, right?
There were two Grubby teams. There was Grub Pride, and there was We Love Grubby, and then in parentheses, Cast Us Plus. So we cast them first. They did really well. Both teams got all the way to the round of 8, I believe, but were then eliminated before the semi-finals.
Oh, that would have been so romantic to have like a semi-finals cast by Grubby with one of his teams, one of his quote-unquote teams. I don't think Grubby's sponsoring or managing them by any means.
Well, they were. No, he was not. He was as surprised as I was when we saw them. They were on different sides of the brackets. There was a small chance they could have both been in the final. So it's like, it's Grubby versus Grubby, cast by Grubby. Would have been great, but
oh boy.
Yeah. So Open Division. Anyone watching who would be willing to enter the American or European or even Korean Open Division or Chinese Open Division. We don't know what's happening with those. Feel free to name yourselves after me or Kendrick.
Only if you're really good, though. At least for me. I don't want. I don't want to.
I'm not going to judge you by your skill. You guys don't judge me by mine.
Oh boy! Of course, you can always name yourself after me. I was just joking. We see the Candy King Murden making it into the fray, and Li Ming as well. Okay, Li Ming into a Nubarak. Of course, we said that the Disintegrate is a formidable counter to the Cocoon. So that is certainly a logical decision, as Abathur would put it. But what can SOA finalize their draft with? Maybe a Falstad? I mean, yesterday Tank Ovo played a really solid one, I do want to say. Or was it Tank Ovo? I think it was Shy, actually, with that golden mighty gust there, single-handedly allowing them to go for the core. No, it was Uncle G! Uncle G with a big play on the Falstad. So good.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. They moved in through the moved in and just distracted the Punisher, and then it was like, okay, you can stay over there. Then just went for the core.
That was so cool. Might have actually been the best gust of the season so far.
Agreed. It definitely was the most game-ending gust of the season. It was very much a second you're hit by it, it was a, oh, we have made a horrible mistake. And Azul coming in as the last pick for SOA. They have almost all melee. The most ranged character they have is Greymane, so the 4.5 melee team for SOA here.
I gotta say, though, there's not a lot that Wukong Gaming can do in order to punish a heavy melee lineup. Like, there's no Kalthas, there's no Zul because it was actually stolen away by SOA, and Li Ming's damage against multiple melees is so-so. Now, don't forget about Lunara's potentially spread out damage with, of course, the Splintering Spear. But is that going to be enough to threat the likes of Arthas? I don't think so. It's not going to be enough all by herself. So I really like what SOA brought to the table here. What about you?
As do I. I think it's good. There's also the argument that someone in the chat just perfectly made that Skellies and Beetles are going to make Li Ming have a pretty rough time. Arthur's on that team as well, isn't he, actually? So they have zombies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring on the minions! There's going to be so many blocking abilities there. That's going to be quite fun to watch. Unless, of course, they go for Syndergo, but no. So, overall, I really do like it. They have good split potential. They have a fairly decent team fight comp, as the Zul build that is a go-to these days is the team fight build you get from the W style.
Yeah, I think the W build normally performs really, really well against multiple melee targets. If you don't want to go that route, you still have the chance to go for a Q build, maybe if you want to aim for Mortal Wound at level 20, but Sky Temple is not necessarily a map where you can guarantee to reach level 20, so we might see a hybrid build between some Skeletal Talents and some W Talents. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, we deploy ourselves and we get ready for Sky Temple Game 1 between SOA and Wukong Gaming.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sky Temple. And spawning on the left-hand side in our final series of the day, it is going to be Wukong Gaming, with Ailing playing Lunara, Laohu on Li Ming, Zero on Uther, and Lang playing Dahaka.
Alright, their opponents in the reds, it is SOA, and they're represented by Fei on the Zul, Uncle G on the Rhaegar, Tank Ovo on his Arthas, Nubarak is played by SparkBZ, and Shy is going for the Wolfman, for the Greymane, and together they are SOA, together they are a team that has grown very dear to me, I'm gonna be honest. Ever since Phase 1, they have improved so much, and while they're still not at the top, still not at the very top, they definitely are the most improved team overall if you compare their performance at Season 1, in my opinion.
Indeedy, Hanoob pieces out of that mid lane as he does not want to get killed off, as he took a lot of damage. Dropping an Impale, though, gave him the opportunity he needed to escape. As the teams finally begin their rotations, except they're a little bit slow to get to bot lane. As such, Zul is pushing hard.
Yeah, Zul is indeed pushing hard. He once again goes for the evasive bow and armor, allowing him to be a little bit more resilient against basic attacks. Oh, there we go. Ailing a little bit of trouble here. Gets out in time, though.
Yeah, Shy vaulting away.
Oh my goody
It's
goodness.
going to be Muradin who goes down.
Yeah, I can't believe that Shy actually didn't die there. All it took was like 1 or 2 more basic attacks on the poison. I don't know why Ailing wasn't really attacking him. I think he was too afraid to actually die in the process as well. Now though, Shy manages to stay alive, and already it's starting to look extremely good for SOA. Look at Zul, by the way. They're using this old playstyle of his where he rotates between 2 lanes, provides skeletons to apply additional pressure, and look at that, Fei Yi already going back to middle, and it is actually their main support, Fei Yi, who plays Zul, and Uncle G, I think, switched over to the Rhaegar. So cool.
I think they have, yeah. They're having a little bit of role swapping coming in, and could work out. Uncle G moving in straight away, heals onto Shy, keeping him alive as Shy drops the damage onto Muradin, trying to kill him off for the 2nd time today, and they do so. Shy dodges the drag as well, it lands onto Rhaegar instead, and now Dahaka getting focused down. They drop all the damage instead, a Rogue Orb catches Shy though.
Yeah, that was a quick retaliation kill. I didn't actually expect that one to happen here. Greymane had to bite the dust. And I'm actually going to refresh because I think we're a little bit ahead of myself.
I'm on 7. But yeah, that all threaded the needle, like dropping through the front line and just clipping Greymane in the back line, explosion enough to get the kill.
Right, okay. It is a game. Ladies and gentlemen, Wukong Gaming, they know how to fight back. And trust me, even in the hands of a sub or below average player compared to the rest of the league, Li Ming can turn into a beast. And speaking of beasts, we just see an Arcane Orb build. Oh, I've never seen that competitively.
I've seen it competitively.
Okay.
I've not seen it win very often.
Okay.
Yeah, it has happened.
I mean, out of all the games, Tetcher, why would you go an Arcane Orb build when there's so many critters, so many little things that could be in your way? The skeletons, the beetles, the ghouls.
To clear those things, because your missiles are going to have the exact same issue. The difference is your missiles can only kill like 1 skeleton each, whereas your orb can actually hit multiples.
Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm still not convinced. Still not convinced. Not because of your explanation, like, just... Yeah,
I know. I'm not entirely convinced of the Li Ming in general here, just due to the amount of stuff that's in her way. Like, maybe a full teleport build would have been the correct option. Just all in, keep yourself sustained, go in melee range, get calamity value.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe the dominance value could have been nice in the calamity.
Hard strikes, auto attack build.
True, true.
Yeah.
All right, let's see, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I would love to be proven wrong. It is always nice when you get proven wrong and you learn something new. Even as a caster, even as an analyst, it's always nice to see a new facet, a new variety of talent builds for an established hero. So, maybe the Arcane Orb build is going to work wonders. As Tetra said, maybe the increased wave clear is going to be really important against the skeletons and the beetles alike. For now, we have yet to be proven correct here. And we see the Tragoul's Essence here for Fei Yi's Zul, and that talent has seen a pretty significant change. Now, whenever a skeleton uses an auto attack, it's going to restore mana and health back to Zul, and that could be really, really important.
Indeed, very effective for his split pushing style, which he is currently going for. He's currently a solo pushing top lane, meeting up with Dahaka there, not doing his rotation anymore because it's a really long way to rotate on this map, and he doesn't want to get caught out with a couple heroes missing.
Shout out to Sam8, by the way, in the chat, who said that he was watching the Warcraft movie again yesterday, and now he thinks it's time for another Warcraft hero. And I couldn't agree more. I think it's been a while since we've... it would be a Draenei. We didn't see any Draenei's in the Warcraft movie, but...
Yeah, we did, technically. At the very start.
Technically in the start. Okay, you got me.
No important Draenei.
Only the ones caught in the cage and being the fuel and gas for Gul'dan's evil magic.
Yeah. We're seeing some requests for the Orcs, Garrosh and Gromash, I believe. Yeah, Grom and Garrosh.
I mean, you can always have more Schmorgs. Even as an Alliance fanboy, I'm definitely not going to say no to another Orc. Still a bit sad that Samuro kind of fell off. Hasn't really made it on the big stages yet. Yeah. Maybe one day.
If Garrosh was a tank, I would be pretty happy to see him. That would be nice. Another full tank is always cool. Damage onto Arthur's tank through it, Arthur's. Tank Ovo pulling to the back line.
Yeah, very nice cleanse here by Uncle G. A little bit too late, but in the end, it was not really that important. A kill on Shy, though, and resets are about to happen.
Yeah, first reset on that Grey Maid as leaving, spamming the abilities, looking for Tank Ovo here, but look at how many zombies are in the way. Can't land any abilities, just running in a circle as Muradin gets cleansed. That's good. Trying to run away, had a protection, was picked, but doesn't matter. He still gets taken out, and the Cocoon is already down.
The Ghoul intercepted the Licky Sticky Tongue by Lang on the Dahaka, so already we can see how those little summons can be so obnoxious, not just for Li Ming, but also for the Dahaka. And during all of this, Fei Yi was actually not participating in that team fight. He was pushing top like an insane madman, and actually got the fort there as well with the help of a temple. And this is looking really, really solid now. Middle falling thanks to the temple. Top fort has been destroyed by Zul. This is looking all good for SOA.
Yes, it is. They're pretty good right now. And they're just on the wave clear game. They got the shots. They're rotating between the lanes. The top already so pushed with all the force already down. They're allowing Zul to just continue to get more and more value. He's now got poison skeletons.
Yeah, that is very true. The Poison Nova making a comeback. Would you say that Poison Nova is now the new go-to, or would you say that Skeletal Mages normally on average are still going to give you more value?
I have actually yet to see Skeletal Mages since the news all has been
really
released.
Okay.
Yes. It has been only Poison Nova in every professional game we have seen so far, where Zul has been played. Nice escape by Li Ming there. Wasn't even aware of how doomed she was. Now they're looking for Uther due to already cocooning one player hit by shield. Lee! Razor swipe. Ooh, the stun. He's out of there. And instead they go for the person who was in the cocoon. The isolation already dropped into Arthur. Zero tanking through it for now.
I think the Poison Nova was interrupted there. I'm not really sure what caused it, but it is yet to be cast. It is available right now, but Faye needs to get a little bit closer. The cocktail hitting, but it is not going to be enough to kill yet another target. Only Dahaka falling, and that was actually not too bad of an outcome for Wukong Gaming, especially after getting initiated on by a cocoon. But yeah, no Poison Nova. I think it was interrupted by Muradin. I'm not 100% sure, because he did go Skullcracker, by the way.
Nice. Liking it. All the CC. I really do like Skullcracker. I almost certainly prefer it most of the time to Iron Forge Momentum. Like, I understand the value behind Iron Forge, but if you need that cooldown reduction, take Crowd Control. But I don't know. I'm an opinionated man, as Ailing becomes a nearly dead man, but is able to escape thanks to the stun from Moon. Nicely done.
Yeah, but so they're not overextending. They're not committing into this choke point where they could have been easy prey with a concave from Li Ming and Lunara. So good by them to pull the trigger. They have level 13 available, so if they face Wukong Gaming in a different location, they can definitely go all in. Keep in mind that we now also see the Echoes of Death for the Zul, and that of course is a very interesting talent. It's actually a new talent, so when you drop the Spectral Scythe after a 1.5 second delay, there's going to be 2 additional scythes traveling towards your current location, dealing a little bit less damage than the original one, but still fantastic wave clear and fantastic AoE damage.
Indeed it is. So, shots going onto the mid lane. Might take down the fort if SOA don't hurry. The fort dropping low. Does survive as they neutralize the tower, at least for the moment. Now they have control of both, putting pressure onto those tier 2s. Mostly the towers to keep off for now safe as Dahaka comes in from behind.
Wukong Gaming, they know exactly that one team member by SOA is still in the bottom lane, so they initiate really hard with that Muradin, but the Poison Nova dealing so much damage. And Uther, he can't heal at all. He's a single target burst healer. He can't deal with all that AoE pressure, and one after the other is dropping low. Dahaka falling, Muradin maybe following suit.
Yeah, Muradin gets knocked up. As such, his healing is interrupted, but he got enough to keep him alive there. SOA, once again, only able to pick up Dahaka, but they are also able to pick up more shots, and their fort survives.
Yeah, really good job here by Fei on the Zul, hitting almost everyone with that Poison Nova. And as we pointed out, Uther, I mean, if he struggles against Lunara because of that poison, he's gonna have a hard time against Poison Nova, which actually deals even more damage. But the Muradin dodging this Cursed Bullet for now. Cursed Bullet also has been such a wonderful tool.
Yeah, let's just quickly. Muradin also just had his Stormbolt blocked by the Beetle.
Once
again, just quickly count here the CC, Stormbolt, Uther, who is a point and click, he's fine. Dahaka's Tongue, the only CC they can actually hit with is Uther's stun and the isolation. That's the only CC they can use that doesn't have any chance of being blocked.
Yep.
everything else just keeps getting blocked. They're getting no value out of Drag or Stormbolt.
It's really mean. It's really mean. And it only gets worse for Wukong Gaming from this point. Because Sky Temple, in my opinion, is one of the most snowbally maps in the game. It's not as bad as Blackheart's Bay, where it's almost impossible to come back, especially in a competitive environment. But as long as SOA continues to get at least one temple, they don't even need to take two. As long as they maintain control over one temple, they're never going to fall behind in structures again. Now, this boss call is a little bit risky, though. Wukong Gaming is in the vicinity, but Uther and Dahaka nowhere near to be found.
Yeah, and now here comes that Adubrak from below, though. Misses the second impale, though. And as such, Muradin tanking through the Poison Nova, not getting a huge amount of value, but they still take down Dahaka, familiar sight. Cocoon is popped, Lunara leaping strike to try and free herself, and as such, it's going to be Uther who dies, and Lunara still dies anyway. That's actually almost a full team wipe. Li Ming was able to sneak away.
Yep.
For how long? Yep, Greymane decides, yeah, I'd rather just push to maybe end the game. They have boss, they have siege giants. 20 seconds before Ludara is alive. Muradin and Li Ming are the ones left to defend. And to be fair, Li Ming is one of the best defending heroes, but this looks to be too late.
Exactly. Not even the Disintegrate is going to help here. Even if she got a reset right now, the boss would finish the game anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is GG. SOA takes game number 1 here. Wukong Gaming, once again, not looking really that good, but I think a lot of it came down to the battleground here as well. It was their first time competitively playing on Sky Temple, so maybe they might have not felt very familiar with it. Maybe things are going to change up for game number 2.
Maybe indeed. We will have to wait and see, but right now, SOA dominating in that first game. Looking really, really good. I'm liking the whole Uncle G back on support. That was really solid play from him. I really enjoyed that.
We also got to give it to Fei Yi. I mean, it is extremely rare that the main support player switches roles. It's not really that uncommon when tank players and assassin players and flex players, they swap their heroes every now and then, but it's very rare for the main support to go for the likes of Zul. But Uncle G, man, when you have someone like him in the team, you can always swap around and be comfortable on his supportive capabilities. So really, really cool.